My name is Nicole and I'm here at the CSU Bake Shop. So all of the cookies and cakes and delectable treats you see in the dining hall, made right here.
All right, well, I am the Executive Pastry Chef Bakery Manager here at Colorado State University, and I'm a recent hire. I started back in June, and before that I was at Colorado School of Mines in Golden, Colorado. And so what we do here is we oversee the entire bakery operations within CSU. CSU is pretty unique in that they have a bakery that's here on site, so we can produce local fresh baked items for all of the faculty, staff, and students. In addition, we also have a gluten-free bakery that is a separate bakery, and that's going to be one of the first in the state to be a certified gluten-free bakery. And that's where we can keep with continuing trends and provide those gluten-free products for students, staff, and faculty. Additionally, I also oversee the Edwards Cold Prep, and that's where all of our made-to-go sandwiches, salads, fruit cups, fruit salads, and things of that nature are made, and those are made here on site, and then those are delivered out.
What are your duties?
Well, they all start and they all end very differently.
Yeah.
And so some of them start at 4 in the morning, some start as early as 3 in the morning, and then they can end anywhere in the afternoon. And so when I come in, I always check in with my staff and see kind of where we are within production. When you work in the food industry, there's always things that come up that are unforeseen. Even simple things as the weather changing can affect our doughs. And so we do all of our own artisan breads and French breads and things of that nature. And so if you have more humidity in the air, then that can affect how fast the dough rises, and then baking times and things of that nature. So there's always that element of surprise sometimes. And then we also have, so I start with checking in with all the staff and seeing what they're doing and how they are and what they need from me. And then I usually jump into production. So wherever that, we have several different areas of production, anywhere from donuts to breads to cookies and cupcakes and coffee cakes and muffins, over to cake finishing, and then once again over here in the prep side where we have our sandwiches and salads. And so typically wherever I am needed, that's where I'll jump in. And so there was a day last week where I went from peeling cucumbers over to hoagies to then decorating cakes. And so it really just wherever I'm needed, that's where I go. And then of course then there's the admin side of things, and so I go in there and I'll check to make sure that there's not any orders that have been added or canceled or communication across campus. We're a little bit different from the dining centers in that we're a vendor here on campus. And so the other dining centers, they buy our product from us. We also have the Lori Student Center that will purchase items from us as well. And so with the Bean Counter and Into Cafe and Morgan Grind. And so all of that billing and paperwork piece, so then I'll do that as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you work with
We do use a lot of local companies. We always try to sustain our local community if we can. Of course, we do have separate vendors. Being the state, we have separate vendors that we are contractually obligated to use. And so, but I do work with them in constant communication about what product can we get, how do we get the freshest product. We always want to make sure that we're providing the highest quality and consistent product to our clients. And so that's part of my job, is that I meet with vendors, I meet with people to see what they can provide for us. Over this last couple of months, we've had a lot of samples coming in, and so we can sample different products and see how it works here at high altitude, because that's the other factor that we have here and that a lot of bakeries don't have to contend with. And so we've had a lot of sample product coming in, and we test that to see what we can change or alter in order to provide that best product that we can.
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You never know where it's going to take you. And that's the great thing about life. You never know where it's going to take you. And it's the same thing about the food industry. You never know. And food is one of those mediums that brings people together like nothing else can. And so it's really awesome for me. Part of my job too is I go out to the dining centers and I'll see how our product's being displayed, and if I can help or offer any assistance to those dining centers to help with that. But then I kind of like to look around. For me, it's when somebody takes that cupcake and they can't even wait to get to the table and they take that first bite. That's awesome. And that's what we strive for. And so I absolutely love my job. I love working with people. I love working with food. And when you can combine those two, and even just the smallest thing can make a difference in somebody's life. It's test day, and it's that warm chocolate chip cookie that just makes it that day that much easier. We've got an awesome crew here. And so it's pretty unique how we have so many different people from different backgrounds, from different cultures, from different environments, and it's within that diversity that we're able to create the products that we do and to be creative in what we put forth. And so it's really the team here that makes everything happen. It's amazing the amount of production that they do every single day. And I think if people kind of were aware of that, they would be a little bit in awe, that we do, 200, 300 pounds of dough every single day. And so when you think about a 1 ounce roll, or a 3 ounce little Kaiser roll, and then you start thinking pounds, that's a lot of dough that's processed. And it's all processed by hand. Everything is made here in scratch, in-house. And that's pretty unique. It's not frozen products that we're just baking off. We don't have any of that. We do everything from scratch, and so that's pretty awesome.
Okay. And how did you hear about it and apply?
Legacy. I got it through my brother. He used to work at the bake shop.
Okay.
He was a delivery guy.
Oh, nice.
And so he just walked me in and said, "Hey, can you get a job?" And I got a job.
Great.
And it was wonderful. And I missed my first 3 days of work, so they scheduled me for a later time. Because 4:30 in the morning for a freshman is hard to manage.
Yeah. Cool. So, what do you like?
What do
you like about working with a
I like working with dough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the people a lot too.
Yeah.
I work at the RAM card office too on campus, so I could have stayed there, but I chose to come back, and that was probably for the people. And also, I liked granola.
Is that your favorite thing that you make?
That I make, yeah, probably.
Probably.
It's really nice when you're making the fruit and nut granola, and you get to lay out the raw oats and millet. It's a very meditative experience. But there's also, there's a time, rainbow sprinkles, right?
Uh-huh.
You'd think that those are made in a factory, but if you buy them rainbow sprinkles, they're more expensive. So we buy every different color of sprinkles because we use those for other things. And then, I get to make rainbow. And so when you've got like an 80-gallon bucket of different colors of sprinkles, and then you get to mix them, that's probably the best job. It's very cool looking.
That's cool.
It is, yeah.
Cool. Neat. And so the people and the therapeutic.
Yeah, the therapeutic benefits of the job.
Anything else you love about working here?
Love about working at the bake shop. Sunrises. I get a bike to school during the sunrise, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, what
a
time
lot
do
of
you
people
get
miss
here?
that. This semester I start at 6.
Hi, my name is Nicole DeSherry, and earlier today, one of our reporters sat down with Zach Schmitz from the Crazy Mountain Brewery.
All right, so tell me a little bit about Crazy Mountain Brewery.
Yeah, so Crazy Mountain Brewery started in January of 2010. It was started by a guy named Kevin Selvey, who graduated from CSU in probably 2001, I want to say. And he graduated with a finance degree from here and took an internship in London. And while he was over there, he started to fall in love with the beers that he was tasting and really got intrigued by that kind of aspect. And he took a job with a finance firm in San Francisco. So he moved out there and he started a home brew and kind of perfecting his recipes and whatnot. And his beers would get passed around to different people, his friends and coworkers. And somebody from Anchor Steam, which is one of the first craft brewery, I guess, in America, really. They got a hold of it and they tried it and they loved it. So they called him in and offered him a job. And so he quit his finance job that next day and started working for Anchor. And in the meantime, he was moonlighting at other breweries on nights and weekends, just kind of learning every aspect there was to brewing and building a brewery and the financial stuff and the business aspect. And he met his wife there. She was in town for a bachelorette party that they were supposed to go wine tasting, and it got rained out, so they went to the brewery instead. And she was in the tasting room, and he got off his shift, and so he came in the tasting room to have a beer. And the story is, I guess her glass was empty, and so he asked if he could buy her a drink, and the rest was history. So she had she was working in the media form in LA, I believe, and they started dating, and they fell in love, and his dream was to come back to Colorado. He grew up in Parker, so he wanted to come back and open a brewery, and they picked Edwards, Colorado, which is just past Vail. Not only because there's not a ton of places you can kind of do breweries, but Vail didn't really have a production facility, so they were going to be the Vail Valley's first production brewery, and started out really, really slow. It was basically him brewing all night long and then loading everything into his car and selling it in the valley during the day. And Marissa's his wife. Marissa's worked on kind of the marketing aspect of it. And they got their start. The first beer they poured was a beer called Lawyers, Guns, and Money, which is one of our barley wines, at a festival called Vail's Big Beer Belgian and Barley Wine Festival, which is a world-renowned beer fest that happens in January every year. And so that's where he got his start, and the rest is kind of history from there. So that was 3.5 years ago.
Okay. So that would mean it started in like
2010, yeah, January 2010.
Okay. And you guys also do a lot of community and environmental stuff. That you have the donate 1% of what you make from each beer to the organization it's paired with.
Right.
Why is community involvement and philanthropy so important to this company?
I think where we're located in the Vail Valley, there's so much that we can do to help out. Be it, one of our beers is paired with Vail Mountain Rescue, so it goes towards the people that are, rescuing people on the mountain. We do with a charity like the Vail Watershed, so where we get our water from for our beer, which is very important. To try to, have little environmental impact, to do what we can. That's why we do cans. They're easily recyclable. The tops on our cans, they're not your average like 6-pack kind of holders. They're plastic. They're plastic toppers, really, that are recyclable and just better for the environment that way. All of our tap handles and all of our woodwork, we don't do neons, we don't do anything like that, but tap handles and case displays that you see in liquor stores or whatever are made out of beetle kill. So obviously beetle kill is a main issue for forest fires. So we try, we're doing, it's just a little wood, but still a little is better than nothing. So, I think it's always been a part of Kevin and Marissa's business philosophy, really, to just give back where they can and do what we can to do to help. Well, if you take away Saturday's football game, it's awesome. No, I think it's great. I love being a CSU alum. I have a sticker on my car still. It seems like more and more people are choosing CSU, and living in Chicago, I knew more people that went to CSU in Chicago than went to CU. I think that says a lot about Fort Collins in general, and people are coming here because it's a great place to live, and you have not only the students but just the people that choose to stay here. I've got 2 really close friends that chose to move back to Fort Collins, and they're raising their kids now in the community, which is great. I've got great memories. I was on the radio here at 90.5 KCSU. I did that for like a year and a half. The athletics program is great. Going to games for free. I don't know do they charge you yet? So going to games for free. The intramurals. There's so much that Fort Collins has to offer, and I'm so glad to come back and see how the town and the school is growing. It's really neat to see kind of the direction that they're in.